guys good? Well played game. Proud of the guys. I'm happy the weather cooperated. Sometimes you look at that and the forecast didn't look great, but it turned out to be a beautiful day. And you have to have starting pitching to get out of the gates. And Wes was fantastic. Quite frankly, as good as I've seen him throw, even in some of the scrimmages, it's got a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. Fielded his position, command of 4 really good pitches, navigated, game control. Micah did a nice job when he sensed that they might be on the fastball, which was pretty dynamic. He went to whatever he needed to go to, slider, curveball. Changeup was good. His changeup's very unique, so that's a plus. They're all plus pitches. So to have Wes continue to grow and learn and develop and experience that sort of outing is huge for his progress. Rowan, there was something in his side. I haven't gotten info on that yet. That's unfortunate. That guy's been waiting, and we're almost thinking you kind of could piggyback those two guys, knowing you have a road game Tuesday. Lauk was also built up in an extended capacity out of the gate. It's another sneaky, dynamic fastball, and Mike has been working very hard to cultivate some secondary pitches, but you saw the life on the fastball that he had. I thought we played sound defense. Nate caught a good game, and the base running helped. Like, having different offensive mechanisms to create is very important. Yesterday, a couple home runs, and today the base running and just the thought and the pressure is difficult to deal with when you're on the other side of it. And I thought we did a nice job of that. I thought the 2-strike hitting was good today. I thought the defense all around, you could kind of pick spots and point out some things that we did well. So all in all, I was happy with the game today and really pleased with the performance all weekend.
Coach, we knew your starting pitching was going to be a strength of yours this season. To see what Jamie, Joey, and Wes did this weekend, how pleased are you to see it in action?
I'm very pleased. And you walk away learning things that they did well, and you still, as well as it went, you're still looking a little bit deeper than maybe the box score to see things that each guy needs to continue to work on. And it's a long pathway, and it's a difficult schedule. So feeling that and feeling success and taking things positive, and then it's kind of fun to learn about things you may need to work on in that format. So I'm pleased with all 3 of them, and I thought everybody, quite frankly, threw the ball pretty well for us after the starters.
Coach, 3 games this weekend, 3 really professional performances from your bunch. What does it say about the maturity of the guys? Just when the lights come on, they were ready to go from the first pitch the entire weekend.
It's a good point. You never felt like anybody was unsettled by anything. And there were guys that are probably not thrilled with how it went for them. And Jackson West is a good example. Of any at-bats today, he probably had the best of the at-bats. And he handled it like a pro and went about his business, and it'll turn. But I couldn't be happier with how we maneuvered this opening weekend. The crowd, the environment was great the entire time, and I thought the guys responded. And offensively, as we talked the first 2 ball games, I wasn't thrilled with how it went, but today was a step in the right direction, and I think JMU had some good arms. All the way to the end of this thing, they ran quality arms out there, and they're a competitive team. So it was good to see the offense settle in a little bit, and the at-bats seemed to get better as we went through the weekend.
Coach, can you talk about the approach with 2 outs? You guys had 10 runs, 7 of them came with 2 outs today, just 2 out innings.
The goal to deliver a quality at-bat should not change. But I think the best example, Smelia grounded into a double play. So there's 2 outs, bang, bang, and Miles hits one in the corner. And all of a sudden, you kind of respond into some sort of a rally when it felt like the momentum had shifted. So just the quality of the at-bat and being a little selfish, if there's 2 outs and nobody on, like that at-bat is still going to count for the rest of your life in your archive of what you do. So they count. And if you have that sort of mindset, you should have opportunities to score. And, you have runners in scoring position with 2 outs. Somebody's going to have to deliver. Somebody's got to deliver. Because against good teams, you're going to find yourself in that situation very often where you might, you have a runner on second with 2 outs. It's not easy just to constantly move the conveyor belt. So the 2-out hitting was good, and the 2-strike hitting was good today.
Coach, what does it say about not only your staff but also the players about how you guys lost so many offensive contributors last year, and yet, albeit in a very small sample size, you guys are continuing to provide the offensive firepower?
Well, you're trying to build a roster that works, and you have to recruit, and you have to recruit hard, and you have to recruit properly to make sure that the athletes are capable of delivering in whatever way that roster allows them to function. And this is a different roster, but it can still be competitive, and it might be different than last year's look, and it probably will be. But today is a great example of some of the things this group might be able to do that maybe we didn't have all of that last year on the bases, and some of the guys that can run and do some of the things defensively. So that's recruiting and roster build and how you try to put it together, and you have to get through the draft, and then when the dust settles, you hope you've done enough with the recruiting so that you do have a competitive group.
It seemed like in offense and defense, you could see the athleticism this weekend across the board.
Yes, and I've talked about that, and I think I discount it the more I'm around it. And then when you actually start playing, it might stand out to you more than when you're practicing and you're inter-squatting and these guys are going at it and they're logging at-bats and base running and the catch. Like you almost beat yourself up, and I thought we had it, but you need to start seeing some other teams before you can really measure what your club looks like, because you go so long without really playing an outside team. And in the fall, I treat those games against Auburn, Alabama, it's a scrimmage game. So I'm not trying to put what I think might be the starting lineup if we were to play a game that day. I just continue right along with how we play the scrimmage games. So it is fun when you put it all together and you do feel that you have athleticism and you do have some depth and you have pieces that you can move.
With Mendez, with his stuff, if he throws strikes, he's going to have a lot of success. What's the difference in a day like today where he threw strikes and then times where he hasn't?
When he drives the fastball down and at times trying to throw the ball down under the zone or in the very bottom of the strike zone, that seems to be a constant reset for him. And he clearly can pitch up. That fastball, when you stand there and watch that thing around home plate, it just jumps. But his reset seems to be driving it down. And once we've learned that, I think it helps him find a little runway and the proper way to operate so that the rest of the pitches are in play. And the rest of the pitches, the secondary stuff, so good. It can be down and the slider can be off the plate to the lefties and the breaking ball can be down and the changeup can run away, and it's still tough to lay off and tough to figure out what's what. But the fastball down, like really down, and at times we're trying to get him to throw it like under the zone, and that seems to be a good way for him to think through it and get the result he wants.
Coach, we saw the long ball yesterday, the small ball today. What does that say about the versatility of this game?
We have to have it. Like the game provides opportunities, and you can't be so one-sided with what you're trying to do that you limit yourself. And you're going to hit some balls out of the park as a byproduct of good at-bats and being physical, but you're not going to do that every single day. So when you have chances to run the bases, and you hope the personnel lines up. So base running and base stealing are sometimes two different things. So I think we saw a little bit of both today. We ran the bases well, and we also had some opportunities to actually steal bases. And I think it does. I've been on the wrong side of that. It can be a little unsettling when you feel like you're being pressed, and it's hard to contain it. So I was proud of our guys. I thought we were intelligent with what we did. There was one misfire in there that we probably had a base stolen, and we flew out on an 0-0 breaking ball that was kind of a bad choice. But you need to have versatility because it's not always going to be one way that works.
I saw a lot. You saw a lot of the freshmen in the line, the new guys in the lineup have their moments. I think Miles is that guy today. What do you see? I mean, from him, 3 hits, 2 off of the walk-off.
Yeah, he's so talented. And we've had this talk, like this is the 3rd time through it, and there have been young guys that we've talked about when we come in here, some good and some of it difficult games for them. It's a big adjustment, and you know what he's going to get. Any chance they get to bring in a lefty, he's going to see that, and you don't get a lot of that in even good high school baseball. I mean, Lincoln's a good program, and they play a tough schedule. You just don't, the matchup and the stuff, frequency of it he's going to have to learn. And I thought today he looked settled, and there were some mechanical things that we've been working on that he hasn't quite taken consistently into the game. And I thought, just looking at how he did it, I don't even need to watch video. Like I could see it. That's good. And there's growth. There's growing pains and there's growing fun. Today was fun growth for him. And the stock market up and down on some of the guys that are young, but the sooner they can figure it out and taste some success and learn from the success and try to improve on some of the things that don't go their way, the more often we're going to talk about, hey, what's it like down the road when you're having a conversation about him. And you saw with Cam and some of the other guys that were freshmen that went through it.
Chase's speed, just how does it stack up to some other guys who've had?
It's probably the most explosive speed that I've ever had. I've gotten away from running. The 60-yard dash was always the baseball tool. And I've had a couple guys get hurt running it. And it's fun to see it. I would love to go run these guys to kind of give you an answer, but the out-of-the-box explosiveness and the get up and be at top speed quickly, probably the best I've had. And he does like it. You know, there are guys that really can run that don't want to press it as much. Like, he wants to go. Like, he wants to run and steal and slide and do it. And that's why he's good at it. I've had other guys that really run that maybe don't want to jump on that as often, and I can't explain why that is, but that's a tool and a gift that he has, and the instincts and the wherewithal to really want to do it, and also know when it might not be right. That's a presence that you need too when you're going to really run the bases at a high level. It can't just be kind of reckless abandon. He's got good sense.
Coach, how did the performances this weekend compare to what your expectations were for this weekend, and has that changed incorporated going forward?
I wasn't pleased with the offensive side of it. Today, yes, I just overall, the feel I have walking out of here, I think there's some work to do with the overall quality of the at-bat. I think we did threaten and clearly created things today, and the home run yesterday, it wasn't as complete offensively as I was hoping it might be, because I saw things out of that group against our own pitching staff that were really positive and exciting, and I think that's coming. But some of the at-bats have to get better for us to really continue to click offensively. So that would be the takeaway that I was not pleased with. The pitching, the defense, I was pleased with that. Like, that's what I was hoping that I would see.
Coach, how